Hi, my name is Carrow Brown. I am an urban fantasy author and I have so many thoughts. I am making this video in response to Meg Latour iWriterly's video in regards to who should give writing advice. And Meg, if you're watching this, I agree with everything that you're saying. I am making this video to actually piggyback off of some of the points that you've made because you are a very kind and professional person and I am not. Meg Latour's video talks about who should be giving writing advice to other aspiring writers, which I think is a really good topic to discuss right now as a community in general, because the reason that this question is coming up a lot within at least the AuthorTube community is because there are some individuals who are in the AuthorTube community who are literally trying to scam other writers. There are definitely some individuals in the writing community that we know who do this, and the whole big reason that we don't come out and call it out for what it is because some of these individuals have a very large fan base, and that anytime that we actually try to speak reason to these individuals, the fan base starts to attack them all our faces, and so the conversation doesn't become productive at all. Not to mention any of the criticism that we leave on these people's pages gets deleted. So I'm really glad that Meg is tactfully bringing this up, and I would like to add some of my additional thoughts on there. I'd like to go ahead and start with one of the things that she mentioned, which had to do with like who should be giving writing advice. I know Meg has gotten some criticism because she used to be a literary agent. She hasn't written a book, so some people come at her from that angle, but I gotta be frank with you guys. As a literary agent, those are the people that know what sells. They are part of the process of getting your book out there into readers' hands. They are going to understand the market and the trends a lot better than you, and they're also going to be privy to the conversations that happen behind closed doors. Meg Latour, on all accounts, is credible to talk about writing advice. And so are editors for that point, because they are the ones that are going to be mechanically looking at your writing and knowing how to do the sentence structure, what characters should look like. There are lots of different types of editors. They don't just look solely at your grammar. They are going to be looking at your story structure, your character development. They are going to be checking so many things. So if a qualified, and I'm saying that with big emphasis, if a qualified editor is out there giving you writing advice, I would take it and use it. In regards to going back to my earlier point about the scammer part of what's going on, in my videos I always encourage you guys to do due diligence whenever I have my videos that come out. I have that free newsletter. You can look at the short story that's attached. You can see if I know what I'm talking about, and the reason I do that is because I know it is way too easy to be very confident on the internet, to sound like you know what you're talking about, but then your book comes out and the book does not reflect any of the advice that you get. And that is the big thing that I'm hearing a lot from book reviews on these individuals' books and from the writing community in general, because when you put yourself out there, especially on YouTube, and you are talking about things that are basically guidance on how to do something, you are not going to be held to a subpar standard. They're going to hold you a lot higher. They're going to expect more from you because you've put yourself out there. And I have heard some murmurings about people who complain about that, but I gotta tell you, you put yourself out there like that, you have got to accept what comes your way. Do you know how hard it is for me to sound serious when you are here looking absolutely adorable? It is so hard. Now, if you are a new writer and you are in the process of writing, I would still encourage you to give writing advice because you are learning a lot along the way. People can be part of that journey, and I'll be honest, to sell an item, you're also selling the story that's attached with it. And so people watching you as you go from starting your writing to getting published to the end of the day, they're going to be really invested in you and everything that's going on with that. I mean, like, look at Jeffree Star and the Shane Dawson palette. That people were part of that journey. That's why it sold out so well, and there's nothing wrong with that. And one thing that I would encourage you, I ran into one individual a little while ago who was doing the fake it until you make it thing. So they were trying to sound extra more confident than they actually were, and they were basically regurgitating the advice of other people. I would just be you. Be your genuine self when you are out here giving advice to other people, and admit when you make a mistake. One of the things that I really appreciate about Vivian Reese when she was sharing her writing journey with everybody is that she admitted that she kept making a mistake with passive voice, and that is really good to see, and she shared that learning experience with us, and I would encourage you to do that too. So Meg Latour did talk about paid courses and services that some of the authors out there are doing, and I want to talk about that. First off, I will never approve of any of it, like, ever. The reason a lot of these people are trying to do these paid courses is because being an author is not a stable income. It never is. Your paycheck fluctuates all the time. Sometimes you might be able to buy a Lamborghini, and other times you are living off of ramen noodles for the entire month. It's not stable. It's not predictable. You never know if you're gonna have a good month or a bad month. So some of these people are trying to make up for that uncertainty by having something that might be reliable, like a course or a seminar or whatever. That I get. I can completely understand. My issue is with individuals who are not qualified to be having certain classes, maybe like some kind of mental wellness class when they don't have any certification for doing this class, charging an obscene amount of money for it. Like, I'm talking like in the thousands. I have huge ethical issues with that. A lot of the things that I teach actually on my channel have to do with what I'm good at, which is project management. I've been doing this forever. I did it in the military, I did it as a teacher. I'm doing it for Other Worlds Inc. right now. I am really good at managing other people's workloads and helping them set up like time schedules in order for them to get stuff done. That's what I'm good at. I will probably never make anything in regards to how to write like an erotica scene, because that's just not my thing. I'm not very good at that. But the reason I'm bringing that up is a lot of these people are bringing up courses and seminars involving things that they are not good at, that they are not qualified for, and they are trying to take advantage of people who really don't know any better. And these are people who have been part of the story from the beginning, who are just trying to do what they can to support these people, and honestly they are just being taken advantage of, and that really grinds my nerve. If you really feel the need that you have to pay money for something in order to make sure that you are getting quality advice, I would actually encourage you to look up the associations for the writer community out in your area and go to those. A couple weeks ago, I went to the Romance Writers Association meeting where they held a couple of workshops. Most of them were free. I just want to point that out. Most of them were free. And I went to one that I thought was particularly amazing, which had to do with the first 300 words of your manuscript and how to use it to set the scene and introduce your characters and a number of other things. It was beyond useful. I took so many notes. This week I am actually going to another Writer Association conference in regards to how to do submissions for journals and literary magazines. Now, am I going to be doing submissions for those? No, not really, but there's a lot of useful information in there that I would like to know, because I may run into somebody who may do that, and at least I will have some kind of foundation knowledge in order to guide them into the right way. And that one I'm paying for, but at the same time, on the page that has these individuals, their credentials are there. We're talking like some really smart people who've been publishing for a long time, like their time is money, and it's not even that much money. It's like, it's $20 to talk to somebody for 2 hours about this topic, which I think is priceless. And one more thing that I do want to point out in regards to my reluctance to do anything that involves any kind of subscription or whatever paying for information is that I have yet to see a course, including the stuff that's on Skillshare, that I cannot do a Google search for, and that is me being completely honest. If you have writing friends and you are trying to do something with the writing process, whether it be promotion or trying to figure out what you're going to do when your launch day or something like that, you can go talk to your friends and they are going to give you all sorts of tidbits and information and whatever. Like when I was about to do my launch, I had a basic idea of what I was going to do, but what ended up helping me shape the entire thing was when I went and I talked to my immediate writer tribe, and I was like, hey, I was thinking about doing these things and da-da-da-da-da. And they all came out, it's like, you know, we tried that and that really doesn't work, and that's only useful if you're willing to do XYZ. You would probably want to focus on that because this is where your platform is. And I was like, oh, well, that's really useful, right? If you go and you pay for these seminars, they're not going to do that for you. The experience that some of these individuals have with trying to sell you their services is not very extensive. And I have to completely agree with Meg that anytime somebody says that they're an Amazon bestseller is full of poo. Now, I'm not trying to start a witch hunt, and I'm not trying to send people after somebody or to invest in any kind of cyberbullying. I want you to know that I have not mentioned any names, even though I could. What I would really like to encourage people to do is just to be very cautious with their money. We don't have a lot of it, and really do your due diligence when you are trying to figure out if you're going to give somebody your money or not. I would not pay for anybody's class on their own website. I would go through a rated website. I would go through Masterclass. I'm not sure about Skillshare at this point, just because a lot of the classes that I have seen on Skillshare are things that I have easily been able to Google, so I can't really invest in that really. Not saying that Skillshare is a bad website or that it's not useful or anything like that. I just haven't been able to find something that I haven't been able to research on my own, either on the internet or going to the library. Now, I really do encourage you to actually go watch Meg's video. I'm linking it below. She asked some really good key questions that I think are good for conversation that needs to happen on her channel. One of the things that I wanted to talk about on my channel was in regards to who do you think is somebody that you take good writing advice from. And I take writing advice from honest people. One of the fun things about Kate Kavanaugh's channel that I really like is she's very honest, she's very genuine, and she does very interesting videos. I think my favorite series that she's doing right now is where she does write like a different author kind of thing, and she shares what that's like with everybody, and I think that that's really useful. Is she a published author with a whole bunch of books that are out there? No, but she's going through something and she's sharing that experience with other people, and I think that that's amazing. Meg Latour has shared so much insight in regards to what agents are looking for, what publishers are looking for, and I think it's extreme nitpicking from people who are honestly jealous of Meg and her personality and the people that she has around her, who are coming at her from the "you don't write, so you shouldn't get to talk about this." I I don't know if you are those people, but there's a thing called gatekeeping, and overall we don't like it, but sometimes people become the thing that they hate. And I really just want to restate, just to make it very clear, that my call to action in my response to Meg's video is about watching where you put your money at, and to make sure that where you're putting your money at is worth your money. Don't just give it to somebody because they are very pretty and good with makeup and they speak confidently. Give it to somebody who is actually able to give you something of value, and make sure that it is something that is valued by other people as well. Look for ratings, look for feedback. If you hear about a course and you can't find anybody talking about it, then what good is it? I would normally have like an engagement question at this point to ask what your thoughts and feelings on it are, but I would honestly have you redirect those thoughts and feelings over to Meg's video. Maybe make a response video. Let's talk about the topic in general with the community at large. If you don't have a YouTube channel, then like I said, go check out Meg's video, go leave some comments and some feedback on there, because that's where a lot of the good discussion is honestly going to be had. If you want to really leave a comment in my thing down here, list down the things that makes it more comfortable for you to take advice from somebody. Do leave that down there, so that way anybody who's coming in here can maybe see what your take on it is, what kind of things that you were looking for in regards to credentials, all that stuff. Anyway, that is the end of the impromptu video that I had not planned. Again, if you would like to check my credentials, I do have a book out, I do have a newsletter. You can sign up for the newsletter, get a free copy of a short story that I wrote, check it out, see if I know what I'm talking about when it comes to any of this writing nonsense that I talk about here on my channel. If you have a question or concern, please feel free to message me either here on YouTube, or you can hit my email, that's down below too. I'm more than happy to respond to anything, and yeah, that's gonna be me for the day. I will talk to y'all next week about actually making a series Bible. Ta!